All right, what's going on, guys? My name is Justin Emmons. I am somebody living with type 1 diabetes, and I'll be your host tonight for GlucoseZone Diabetes Talks. We are coming to you live from New Haven, Connecticut, and tonight's topic is why me? So I think this is personally a great topic to have due to the fact that I am somebody living with type 1 diabetes like Charlie. It's something that comes to mind a lot on an everyday basis, especially when we're dealing with something that is more of a lifestyle than anything else. So first I'll start by introducing myself. Like I said before, my name's Justin Emmons. I am a exercise physiologist and one of the digital coaches actually that when you guys are chatting with me on the other end, when you're doing your workouts, you're doing your diabetes talks, I'm one of the faces behind the camera. So nice to meet you guys officially and gals. And so we'll jump right into it. So how I got involved with GlucoseZone to begin with. So I was looking for an internship to do, and my biggest thing when I went to college with somebody living with diabetes is I wanted to study medicine. I didn't know what angle I wanted to take it. So what I started with is I started doing research, and I found that I wanted to do nursing. After that, I was a little skeptical, so I changed paths a little bit, and we went into exercise physiology and exercise science and human performance. So I studied that at Southern Connecticut State University, and I did that for 4 years, and then I did my internship here, and this is where I am today. So I originally wanted to work with people, the general public, doing nursing. Then I changed paths, like I said, and I found myself working for an exercise company, especially doing something with diabetes. Let me just check out the chat for a sec. Don't mind my sweat. I'm a little nervous, but we'll get through it together. Diabetic Slayer, what's going on, buddy? I see you in here all the time. Donnie Ray, what's up, man? Nice to meet you as well. Jeanette, Claudette. Wow, you guys are very welcoming. I love it. So we're going to get right into it and start talking about being diagnosed with diabetes. It's definitely not an easy process that happens, and it's kind of something that you sit back and you think, why me? Why did this happen to me? I just left my doctor's appointment. He told me he was borderline. I was borderline diabetic. I have type 2, type 1. It's just a constant question that comes up. And something that is a little bit frustrating is nobody has a straight answer for you. You didn't do this, you didn't do that, kind of just happened. It's an autoimmune disease. So you have type 2 or type 1, pre-diabetes, whatever that is, we're going to talk about it and why we feel that is something that we want to harp on and go towards. So when I was originally diagnosed when I was 8 years old. So I've had diabetes for a little bit over 14 years now. It's almost been like a lifestyle for me. I don't, unfortunately, remember much prior to being diagnosed, but it's just something that I live with and I own it. And I hope that I can inspire you guys and girls to wake up every morning, do what you got to do, and just live with the fact that you can do something about this, you can make a change, and that diabetes doesn't control you, you control your diabetes. So when I was diagnosed, like I said before, I was a little bit too young to the point where I was in the room, my parents were crying, I really didn't understand the whole gist of it and what was going on. But as time moved on, I think that I developed a good support system around me, and that is one of the things that we are going to talk about moving forward is the people that you surround yourself with involving your diabetes. I don't want to butcher this name. I'm going to say Marisol, somewhere in there. But hello to you. How you doing tonight? So I do remember starting with needles. When I first met with my endocrinologist, she had me start on syringes, and that was a little challenging, being 8 years old, having my mom come in, dad come in, breakfast, lunch, dinner, throughout the day, and giving me the needles, and especially moving forward. And it's something that really takes over your body, and it could harm your overall health. And so that's why I think that the key thing that I want to deliver to those of you watching is that you're not alone, especially in this fight, and the fact that it's extremely, extremely important, and I can't emphasize it enough, to use your support systems and the people that love and care for you around you. I seriously cannot emphasize that enough. So after starting with needles, I then transitioned to an insulin pump, which I'm currently on and I've been on since, I would say, about 10 years or so. And it's a little bit easier for me to manage during my diabetes because it's almost like a cheat system in a way, due to the fact that if I have a little bit, quote unquote, too much carbs, or I eat something that I feel like is going to spike my blood sugar, I can put in insulin for it and then correct for my high number. However, with somebody with pre-diabetes or type 2, it might not be as easy to do that, and that's why we're here in the GlucoseZone to help you get where you need to be and proceed with your diabetes journey. And that's why, another reason why I really love working here. I don't have a product to sell. I really do practice what I preach, and I think that I can't thank all of you guys enough for just tuning in and being one of the people that talks to you on the other end as a digital coach and as a trainer that comes in and sees people from all different types on the spectrum. I think it's an amazing experience, and I love what we're doing, and I love that you're all taking advantage of this and tuning in with me tonight. So after that, dealing with diabetes when I was younger was a challenge, especially because I was trying new sports. I was playing basketball, hockey, baseball, even gave football a try. I did track and field. And nobody really has an answer when it comes to how do I manage my diabetes. And it's just because it's so different for everybody else. Nobody's the same in terms of their diabetes. But the biggest thing to know is, despite the fact that nobody is the same, there are resources and there are outlets that are there to help you in that journey. So I know that my biggest thing is to control my diabetes. I wake up every morning and I could have been 270 the night before, and I could wake up at 50. So my biggest thing is, every time I wake up, I go with it, take it one day at a time, and that's all that you can really ask. And I try my best to control my diabetes. I want to give a special shout out to Megan from New Haven. How you doing, Megan? So that's one of the biggest things that goes into controlling your diabetes. And like I said, going back to when you're a child, or if you were just diagnosed today, welcome. And I'm happy that you found us, because I think you can use us as a big asset, and we could help you here at the GlucoseZone. So after I did the sports, I did sports in high school. I was captain of the track and field team. I swear by it. I loved it. But I had off days. I had a lot of trouble managing my personal diabetes with the time of the practices. I had a lot of hypoglycemic issues, and that was one thing that really kind of led me to be discouraged, and I was just getting frustrated. And that's one thing that I want to voice to you, because being myself and living with diabetes on an everyday basis, I want to encourage to you that it's something that you have to use your support systems. You have to wake up every day, and you have to kick down the diabetes door. Claudette, that is so true. You guys helped me a lot. Claudette, that put a genuine smile on my face. I'm really happy that you wrote that. I mean, being somebody living with type 1 diabetes is a challenge in itself. But to have a support system of people that I work with, my coworkers, my clients, people like you at home following the exercises, people living with type 1, type 2 diabetes, I just think that you guys are all so unique. You're all amazing people, and I really appreciate what you do. So going back to after high school, I experienced 2 hypoglycemic seizures that actually ended me up in the hospital. And I think that was kind of my low point for somebody living with diabetes, because this could happen to anybody, whether you're pre-diabetic, type 2, type 1. You can see the effects of hypoglycemia. And And these are things that, when I go back to talking about using our support systems, really help us move forward and truly succeed with our diabetes. And I think that it's extremely, extremely important to be open with your diabetes and not just think, why me? But think, okay, I'm in this situation for a reason. What can I do now to better myself? And obviously, I don't have to go in detail with that. You guys are obviously doing a phenomenal job following along with all of our workouts, doing your thing from home, in the gym, wherever you may be, following our diabetes talks. I seriously can't thank you guys enough. And I know Charlie, he can't be here right now. He's off fighting some more GlucoseZone crime, but he really does. He loves all your guys' support, and all of us as one big GlucoseZone family, we appreciate it. So one thing that I also want to talk about is the fact that a lot of people like to group people living with diabetes in a category as, being diabetic. You have diabetes. You must have fast food all the time. You must do this. You must do that. But ironically, like Charlie says, like I say, I'm a firm believer in, is actually just people living with diabetes are people that are extremely, extremely busy, caring, loving individuals, and they are the people that take the time out of their day to show their love and support for their family, their friends, their coworkers. And at the end of the day, they might not have enough time to take care of themselves. And that's one thing that people don't really understand is people living with diabetes are extremely active people, ironically, from all the other stigmas and what people think. But I just want you guys to know that you're definitely not alone, especially in this journey. And I mean, it's you're just not alone. You gotta use us, use whoever you have, and run with it. Jeanette, we appreciate you. We appreciate you tuning in, and I'm glad we can keep you motivated here. And that's our biggest goal, especially as the exercise company working with people living with diabetes across the world. We are so happy. We have a good question from Danielle. She says, "Hey Justin, do you feel different about your diabetes now having worked with people living with diabetes?" And I think that's actually an awesome question. I'm really happy that you asked that, because when I did grow up with diabetes, there wasn't too many people around me that actually had diabetes. I have no history of diabetes in my family. I was kind of the lucky egg that was chosen out of the bunch. And it was a little bit, not confusing, but I was just a little taken back by it. So when I did do my internship here, I kind of immediately felt at home in terms of the people I work with, all of you people that are on the YouTube, the app, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, supporting us, and working with clients one-on-one, helping them reduce, reverse, and control their diabetes has been truly a godsend in my personal opinion. I can't thank all of my clients enough, and truly all of you guys and girls watching at home, it's really amazing to see what we do and use the power of exercise to promote healthier living and overall healthier lifestyle. So I love this name. I would take this name in a heartbeat if I could. So we have Diabetic Slayer coming in with, he says, "For me, doing exercise every single day is really challenging. In my case, the only thing that keeps me doing it is the results I get." That is awesome. That is kind of what keeps you going and what keeps us going here as a fitness company. I've seen your name, being somebody actually digital coaches behind the computer. I've seen you in here. I see everybody's commitment, and it's awesome, and I want to encourage everybody that is exercising with us to stay active in the chat and let us know when you're here. Let us know when you're tuning in, because we, as people that digital coach, as trainers, as anybody in the diabetes population, we appreciate that. So Michael says, "Being diagnosed a few months ago, taking it day by day. Biggest thing for me has been the portions. Luckily, I can still enjoy treats, but they're exactly that." I completely agree with you, Michael. One of my biggest problems is quote unquote, the snacking. I like to, I'm always looking for a snack every once in a while, but I'm really happy that you were able to find us and tune in on the GlucoseZone. Feel free to reach out to us and talk one-on-one with us about your journey dealing with diabetes. Being diagnosed is not the easiest thing in the world, and like I said, I've been there, and it's really challenging at times, and I want you to know that you're not alone, and you don't have to think, why me? There's millions of people out there in the same position as you, and I want you to know that we're here to support you. So, let's see. Jimenez said, my 12-year-old brother was recently diagnosed as a pre-diabetic. That great news is that this channel is gradually helping him become more active. He really enjoys the reversing diabetes workout videos. That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that he likes the videos and he can follow along with us and tune in. That's really phenomenal that you are being a sister and being there to be there. And actually, one of the biggest things I pride myself in is the third Wednesday of every month, we actually offer a class that's free for kids living with diabetes that is taught by me. It just promotes exercise in a healthy environment. And because, like I said, when I was diagnosed, it's really difficult and challenging because, I didn't feel like I had a lot of other kids around me my age dealing with what I was going through. And I want to just congratulate you and tell you to keep doing what you're doing and be an awesome younger sister to your big brother. You're doing a great job. Brunda, in the app, what's going on, Brunda? I see you in here all the time. How to deal with stress around diabetes. Oof, that's a good one. About 5 minutes before I went on here, I was stressing out and I saw a little spike in my sugars, but I think that it's kind of like anything else. You have to see that you have to kind of assess the situation that you're put in, and you have to realize at the end of the day, you're a human being. You're somebody that's living with diabetes. You have to closely keep an eye on how that stressful situation is affecting your diabetes personally. And you really have to do your best and try to assess the situation, maybe verbally tell the people that have you involved in that situation, like, listen, we got to take 5 because I have to go take care of myself, or I understand that this is stressful, but can we come back to this? Or you just have to do your best. Every day it's a little bit of a roller coaster, and it's frustrating, but it's something that we have to do on an everyday basis and use your support system around you. So we have a good question from Andrew. He says, when you are feeling down, what picks you up? And I feel like I'm kind of like a broken record here in saying that I went out of my way to tell people when I meet them I have diabetes. I'm somebody who embraces it, and I don't let it shape me as a person. So when I tell these people that, my friends, my family, my coworkers, that I am somebody living with diabetes and I am feeling a little bit down, whether it has nothing to do with my diabetes or not, it goes back to having a great support system. You can use us as your support system if you don't want to talk to anybody outside of here. You can use your friends, your family. You have to just utilize your references and just be yourself. And that's one of the biggest things that I can encourage is I consider myself a funny guy. I consider myself a clown sometimes. I'm always trying to make a joke out of something, but I believe that is what makes me thrive as just somebody living with diabetes. So we have a good question from Danielle. She says, what are your top 3 suggestions for newly diagnosed people still trying to grasp having diabetes? I think that's a really good question. So I would say the first suggestion is find somewhere or somebody that you can talk to about your diabetes, whether that be your best friend, whether that be the clerk at Starbucks. Just find somebody that you could open up to and kind of almost vent about how you're feeling, because it's hard and it changes on an everyday basis, and it's really difficult. And I think that the most important part is just utilizing your support system. Number 2, I would say make sure that you understand what diabetes is. And I didn't truly understand what diabetes was, I would say, until I was like 16 years old. So that's 8 years after being diagnosed with my diabetes. And if I could go back, despite being 8 years old, I would really encourage people to get out there and try to just do a little bit of research and understand what's going on with them, despite that our blood sugars can be almost like a constant roller coaster at times. And 3, I would say, let's see, you're putting me on the spot here, Danielle. For 3, I would just say, don't let diabetes define who you are. If I could go back and give my 8-year-old self that advice, if I could give my newest client that advice, it's just don't let diabetes define the person that you are, because deep down you're so much more than somebody who's living with diabetes. Claudette, Jordan, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm happy you're here with us. All right, let's see what we got. Donnie Ray says, just don't ignore it like I did. It doesn't go away on its own, but if we pay attention to it, we can kick its butt. That's right, Donnie Ray. I want everybody in here to be, excuse my language, a badass and kick down the door for diabetes and truly take the fight one day at a time. So I think that it's super important to not let diabetes define who you are. I understand that it can get you down. I understand that you could be feeling $1 million if you have a great sugar, and embrace that and run with it. I think it's really important to not let diabetes define you. So when we talk about why me, I think that no matter where you are in your life, being diagnosed with diabetes, it's kind of like you just take a step back and you think exactly what this talk topic is, why me? And that's one of our biggest things is here at the GlucoseZone, we don't want you to feel like you're alone, and we don't want you to think that you're the only person that is suffering from this. And it's not something that has to be that you're suffering from. It's something that just needs to be, you need to just take a little action. And I know if you're here and you're with me, you're doing it. And I want to just seriously give you guys a round of applause and congratulate you for kicking down the door and taking the necessary steps to reduce, reverse, and control your diabetes. So what do we see? We got Michael saying, I've had to do a lot of research myself. It feels like as a young type 2 guy, there aren't many people like me. I'm glad there are resources like this that don't exclude people. Michael, that's an awesome comment, and I'm really happy that you said it, because there's somebody that's out there that might not watch this video right now, but is in your shoes. Maybe a type 2 female, a type 2 male, somebody that's young and thinks, oh, I thought I was kind of alone in this journey. I didn't think there was many people out there. There are people out there, and I appreciate you making that comment. And you have to understand that we're all here to support one another. I try my best to, if a client comes in with a blood sugar, it's not like a bad report card, like we say. If they come in a sugar at 250 or 100, I'm going to work with them a little bit differently, but we're going to take the necessary steps in helping them reduce, reverse, or control their diabetes. And I think that's one of the biggest parts here. So going back to Kevon, I saw your chat a couple of seconds ago. I think he asked what my favorite low snack was. My favorite low snack is Skittles. Probably not the best thing in the world, but it definitely gets the job done. I try to carry like a little pack, like the fun size Skittles. I try to carry one of those on me wherever I go. It fits actually really nicely in my glucometer compartment, and it's something that, even if you just have a couple, you could really make it last, and those do the job. Diabetic Slayer, only moving forward. That's right, man. Pick your foot up, take that step, keep doing what you're doing. All right, so also I do want to add, because not a lot of people know this, I think, tuning in from all over the world, but we actually do, I'm not the only person apart from Charlie living with diabetes that works for the company. And I do want to add that wherever you go and you're journey, you're definitely not alone. I actually had no idea that one of my close friends now had diabetes until a couple months in, because they almost tried to hide it in a sense. But I think that it's really important to embrace it and open up those, I just think you could talk to anybody about anything if you really put your mind to it. And I think coming from somebody living with diabetes, I think that it's really important to embrace it and understand that it's not something to be embarrassed about. It's something, I'm losing my mic here. It's something that you just need to be open with, and don't be shy, and just understand that there's definitely places, people, resources that you can go to and you can take to move on and live a happier, healthier life. I'm also a type 2 diabetic, and I'm trying to learn about this. Well, Jeanette, you have came to the right place. I can't stress that enough. I really think that what we do here is great, and the people, our support system, the people that we work with, all of you guys watching at home, watching it in the car, wherever you may be, I really do want to thank you guys truly from the bottom of my heart for tuning in, being here. You make what I do actually something that I can really enjoy, and I appreciate that. So talk about a couple more. What we got here from Claudette. I've been diagnosed since I was 17, and to be honest, I don't really know what type I am. Some doctors say type 1, and some say type 2. I'm confused. I need to see a doctor specialized in diabetes. That is definitely something that you would want to get taken care of, Claudette, and I would encourage you to go see an endocrinologist. Like you said, you already know what you have to do. Somebody that's specialized in diabetes, and I think if you go see an endocrinologist, that's your best bet. And whatever the results are, just know that we're here for you at the end of the day. So, just like I said before, I think that it's really extremely important to own the fact that you do have diabetes. You are who you are because of your diabetes, but do not let your diabetes define you. You wake up every morning and you do your thing. You go to work, you go to school, you go to practice, you drop your kids off at practice. You just have to take it day by day and understand that you have an excellent support system. We're here for you. The people you know and care for are here for you. You just you have to own it. So I think as silly as it sounds, at the end of the day, we're all one big happy family. Well, maybe not happy at all times depending on our blood sugars, but I think that we really take our diabetes day by day, and we really need to utilize one another as a support system. So don't think, why me? Think, what can I do to better myself and be the person that I truly want to be? And I think that having diabetes is just something that can actually assist you in this journey. If you want to take care of your diabetes, if you want to live longer, if you want to just be healthier, I think you've came to the right place, and I think that exercising with us and following along with us is an excellent thing to do, and I encourage you all to keep doing what you're doing. So we're coming up just about on that 30-minute mark, and I want to thank you guys and girls all for tuning in tonight and not shooing me away and welcoming me in with open arms. And like I said before, I can't emphasize it enough, do not let diabetes define you. Own who you are and what you do on an everyday basis, and use your support systems around you to truly thrive and be a diabetics. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.